I am Blessing, Shamanic Web Priestess here. I have not made one video in the month of December. We are literally almost into the second week of December, so we're on December 9th, the day of recording this video, and I have not made any videos since November 29th. So I figured this is a video I wanted to make. It's a pretty fun, quick video as well. It should be quick, but we'll see. Video that I'm going to be making, and I love nerding out and nerdy videos and things like that, and tarot is a passion of mine, divination, but it's also my job. You know, for those of you that don't know, I'm a professional reader. I'm a full-time reader. I've been a full-time reader now for 8 years. 3 years in the psychic hotline, almost 4, and then it'll be my 4th year running my own business. As of June of next year, it'll be 4 years. So yeah, so I was just thinking, like, you know, whether you're a professional reader or you are someone that reads for yourself, I wanted to know if people had essentials, things that they like to use when they're. So I was wondering, like, if you guys have essentials. I love when people talk about tarot, their favorite decks, top 10, top 5, top things like that. And I love when people show how they consecrate a deck, or, you know, their perspective on tarot or divination, which I'm going to be making a upcoming video on my reading style and things like that. But this one's going to be mainly focused on what I consider tarot essentials for myself when I'm prepping for professional readings, which I do 5 to 6 days a week on a full-time basis. So yeah, like I said, you know, so this is like from a professional reader, psychic standpoint, what do I like to use? What are my favorite tools or things to use when I'm prepping for a reading? Please understand, disclaimer, you do not need any of these things to be a professional reader or to read tarot well. These are just things that I like to use that kind of set me in the mood or create that ambiance when I'm doing a reading. So I made a list of 20 different things. And so the first one is a deck that I connect with. So I have 7 working decks that I use for professional readings only. These are the ones that I connect with the greatest, that give me just the best readings that I've worked with, that I just instantly connected with them right out of the box. Okay. And they tend to change over the years, but currently I have 7. This is one of them. I chose this one for this particular video, and it's the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. Okay. It's one of my newer decks, but I wanted to kind of just show you. So any decks like this, so this is one of the 7 that I connect with the most. I will be making a separate video talking about the other 6 decks and my top, you know, basically my top 10. So watch out for that in the future. But this is the deck that I chose for this particular video. And so if basically when I do readings, I use 6 to 7 decks, not at a set reading, but basically in my rotation. So I take out 6 to 7 decks for the year. Okay, so my decks are literally put on a schedule and on a rotation. Again, these are the 6 to 7 decks that I connect with the most, and I rotate them on a monthly basis. Being because I have read with decks exclusively, like one deck and things like that, but for me, I do like to occasionally switch out decks because I read so much, and being that I do so many readings a day and things like that, it keeps things fresh, and it just keeps things flowing. I do like to visually change my decks here and there, so that's why I pick you know, the top 6 to 7 decks that I connect with the most on a yearly basis, and I use them for that whole entire year, and I rotate them on a monthly basis. So at the end of the month, I do use a different deck and things like that. And it's on my calendar so that I could keep on track. Cannot even talk at this time. So first thing I always like to have is, again, using one of the 7 working decks for my readings. I mostly use tarot. I do have a couple of oracle decks that I use for professional readings as well. But to be honest, I use the least tools as possible. When I'm reading professionally, it's mostly just tarot. I might occasionally pull from like the Gypsy Oracle deck, or Energy Oracle, or like any of my top, Oracle decks, the psychic tarot, the psychic tarot, yeah, which is more like an oracle deck anyways. But yeah, like any of those and things like that. Again, I'm going to make another video that talks more about that. But basically, like I said, my first tool that I use is literally one of the 7 tarot decks that I consider my working decks. Another thing I like to do before and after a reading is I like to smudge. I like to burn some type of offering, because when I do use decks, I dedicate them to my particular guides. Okay, there are energetic beings that are hosted in my decks that I dedicate to the spirits. Okay, certain spirits, my guides, if you will. I like to burn when I'm starting a reading, to draw energy in, a Palo Santo. Okay, and I do like to pass it on my person. I may pass it around my reading space, things like that. When I'm ending a session, because sage is good for removing energy, I will burn sage or hierba buena, and on my person and on my space. And this is at the end of my work day, and this is at the beginning of my work day. So that's very important to me. Okay. So I try to use it sparingly, but I do use it at the beginning and ending of my sessions. Another thing that I like to do on a weekly basis, or a couple of times a week, is my chakra meditation work. Okay. Every week, okay, or even so maybe once a week or twice a week, I will work on a specific chakra. I would scan myself and see which of my 7 chakras needs the most work. Okay. And I will also do a personal reading for myself, and see what chakra needs to be balanced. Okay. I use this one or my chakra, like any of my chakra decks, and I do like a reading and see which chakra needs to be balanced and in what way, so on and so forth. This will be part of me journaling my readings and things like that. And then I will seek a treatment. Like, how can I balance this set chakra? So if it's my throat chakra, like what area of the throat chakra that it pertains to do I need to work on? Or if it's my root chakra, so on and so forth. And then I'll come up with like a treatment plan. Okay. So one of the things that I do for that week and things like that would be to burn either resins, because I have resins, or the actual incense stick that pertains to that particular chakra that I'm working with for the week. So if, let's say, it comes on in a reading, I need to do the heart chakra, then I would do that. You see these incense on my monthly faves, because I do a lot of chakra work. I try to be as balanced as possible, because I am a spiritual healer and a professional full-time reader. So I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the best of my energies when I'm doing a reading. Okay, and then I also light a candle. So I'll buy like chimes in multicolors that comes with the 7 different colors, and I would take the chakra candles and light them up. So this one, if I need to balance the third eye, or if I need to balance my crown, I have a candle holder for all 7 of my chakra, and I have a following chime candle that will match with the color that pertains to that particular chakra. And this candle will be lit while I do an individual chakra meditation. So I do a meditation that's specifically dedicated to balancing this chakra. I also try to include the food colors in my eating. So try to eat foods that pertain to that specific color. I do meditations. I do light therapy. So I light candles and set intentions and things like that. I also use these, and I love these so much. So I would anoint the corresponding part of my body. Okay, so this is your crown chakra. Each one has a scent, and I would anoint whatever area that needs to be balanced. Okay, and I would do that again, before reading. So if it comes out in the reading that I need a lot of heart chakra work, that's going to help me with my readings for the day, for the week, or whatever. I'm going to anoint my heart, or I'm going to anoint my throat. You know, I'm going to anoint my, sacral, or, you know, solar or root chakra, or things like that. So I would anoint one of the 7 points of my chakras, and things like that. So that way I'm in good, harmony, and I'm well balanced to provide the service that clients are paying me to do. So I use a lot of that beautiful oils that I have. I also use pendulum for divinations, but I have these specific 7 pendulums that I not only use like the chime holders for clients when I'm doing their balancing, because I do balance chakras for clients. I have some new services of that. They are dedicated to specific chakras, or you can do all 7. And I also have a new chakra reading that will literally focus on chakras and how to manifest and heal and do all that using this beautiful system. So there is a reading on my shop dedicated to chakra work. Okay, so I have, these are all anointed, blessed, and charged with 7 different spirits that I believe work within the chakra system. And when I'm meditating or sending energies to myself or to clients, I use a lot of pendulum to send energy. It's a very powerful healing exercise that I do with the pendulums. Literally when I'm healing others, like I get lightheaded and dizzy because it's so like such a powerful energy exchange. And when I'm also healing myself, like you just feel the vibration. And a lot of my clients tell me how they feel so different and light, and it's just beautiful. So I love doing spiritual healings on myself and others. That is back on my shop, by the way. So yeah, so I use the pendulums to do that while we're saying mantras, while we're exchanging energies, while we're balancing each of the chakras or certain specific chakras that at the time needs healing. So I also use those pendulums on myself. I do like to balance chakras before I read, so I will do an energy healing on myself before I would read you guys as well. I also like to do have scented candles. So right now I have the fresh balsam candle from Bath and Body Works, and it smells like a Christmas tree. Like it smells like Christmas. It smells like it reminds me of when I was younger and my mom would have a real tree, and that beautiful scent that you get all over your house that smells piney, or when I've bought a real Christmas tree for the kids, and just that beautiful scent. So it literally takes me back to childhood. So I always like to have certain scents, like sometimes in the summer, like roses. So I'm very seasonal. So depending on the season, I like for my reading space to smell like the season. Okay. Also, I have a candle that is dedicated to deity. So this one's dedicated to deity. It's dedicated to one of my Lamadamas, because I have several Lamadama spirits that I work with. But this is a particular one that I work with. I dedicated this candle to her, and I light it when I do my readings. I have candles sometimes that I dedicate to my guardian angels, so on and so forth. So depending on what spirit I feel at the time wants to come forward and assist in a reading, I would dedicate a candle to said spirit. So yeah, so I love to have a scented candle and a deity specific candle that I light during the time that we are reading. Okay, I love to take my decks and prep them. Like I said, I do a monthly rotation of my decks. Okay, 6 to 7 decks that I use for that specific year are my working decks. Like I said, they can change, but most of the time they're the same decks over and over again. But sometimes when I buy new decks and I connect with them, I'm like, okay, this is definitely a working deck, so on and so forth. They'll add to the rotation. I like to, when I first get a new deck, first and foremost, I like to knock on it, okay? And I like to clear and cleanse it. Not just a smoking ceremony, but also there's certain music that I play, and it goes on a certain altar that's dedicated to the spirits that are diviners that channel through me to deliver the messages to the clients, to the current. So these decks that are my working decks are dedicated to those groups of spirits, and things of that nature. The spirits are housed in them, and they speak to me through the decks. I don't need decks, but I like to use decks. I like pictures. I like art. Um, and they speak to me through these tools, and then I'm able to deliver the messages to my clients. So like I said, I do use certain rituals. I do pass them over resin in my cauldron, and things like that. So there is a very long ritual that I do, candle lighting, all that kind of stuff. So I have a specific ritual again that I do that is tied into the close traditions that I practice. Is why I've never actually shown the way that I actually dedicate my decks on the TV. On the TV, on YouTube. I did not mean to say the TV, sorry. Okay, so number 7 is a sacred space to host my decks. So my decks, okay, I used to buy bags. They weren't my thing, and the tuck boxes wear down. So what I do is I use boxes. I'm trying to take these crystals out, sorry. Okay, so I can actually take out. So I'm going to try to do this without making a mess, but I use boxes like this where I host my 7 main working decks, okay? And in the box are all my decks without the boxes. They're all together, and there are crystals in the deck, in the box, which are selenite. Okay, selenite wands. And I also, on the outside for protection, I have this clear quartz that sits in front of the box, kind of sending and charging energies. I also have a fluorite, selenite wands, okay, and labradorite that's in the box with my 7 working decks. So I love boxes. I don't really like tarot bags, I realized, or keeping them in the original boxes when it comes to me with my working decks, because I use them so much it becomes tiresome to pull them out of boxes or tuck boxes, or even tarot bags that I can't see what deck is what. In a box I can actually see from the backs of the cards which decks are what. When I put my decks back, when they're done with the rotation, I put them back in order. I do not like having my decks out of order when they're being put to sleep and I'm putting them away for the next couple of months while I rotate a new deck. I like to have them in order. So I put them back in the order they came in, so they could be recharged for when I'm going to use the decks again on my next rotation. Okay, crystals. I love crystals, okay? So I love having my amethyst on my reading space. I love having my clear quartz. Okay. I love having my tourmaline for psychic protection on my reading space. My smoky quartz. And I love having my labradorite. I recently added a chakra grid that has, I'm just going to show you one of the crystals, that has all 7 of the chakras aligned in a grid to make sure that I am in complete balance and harmony with the spirits. And right next to it, I'm hosting a smoky quartz. So that is, there is now a chakra grid. I just felt called to do that on my reading space that hosts all 7 of the chakras when I'm, doing my reads and things like that. So I like having these beautiful, well, I showed them in my favorites, so you can see the rest of them on my favorites. Okay, so I love having my chakra grids, my crystals and things like that. I don't keep a ton of crystals because I don't like clutter. So I just find if I had too many crystals, I want to actually have space to lay my cards out and things like that. So because I do time sessions, I have to be quick. I like to just pull. until I feel drawn to stop pulling. So I don't have a set, like I only pull 3 cards. It's whatever feels right. When I feel like the message has been given, the question has been answered to the best of my ability, then we move on to the next question, and then I'll pick up my cards. Okay, so so number 8 was the crystals. Number 9 is spirit channeling guides. So my spirit guides, the spirits that I channel in readings, I do pray to them and welcome them in. I have prayer books that my mom gave me that I forgot to bring off of this video, that I pray, that I do prayers to. The book is old, like I have to like tape it together, it's so old. But I do prayers on it before I would do readings. So I do like to pray before I read to my spirit guides. I also have a sacred space that I showed on YouTube before. That is my altar where I do readings. It's really my desk where my laptop is, because I do Skype readings and I also do phone readings, okay? And that desk is where I host all my decks that I use and where I actually conduct my readings. It's the only thing that I use the space for. And so I love to have sacred space dedicated to doing professional readings. I don't like to just read anywhere. I like to have an actual space because I feel like it has that energy infused in it, and my spirits I dedicate this space to also my guides, and I feel like they're in that space when I need them to be. I also like to have quiet, so I work around my children's schedule. So when I do nighttime readings and very early in the morning readings when they're in bed in the morning, and when they're in bed at night. I do not do any readings when my kids are in Zoom doing schoolwork because they're fully remote. They've been fully remote since school started. I have 2 children that are doing fully remote school, and my 2 older children are not living here anymore. They're like on their own now. So it's just my 14 and my 7-year-old. So I'm dedicating that time to helping them, making sure they keep on track with school and corresponding with the teachers and so on and so forth. So I don't want to be distracted trying to do your reading when my children are in school. That's a disservice to my children, and that's a disservice to myself. So I have a schedule, a set schedule that I've been able to play around with. Wait times for my readings have greatly decreased now because I finally have a schedule that works for me and seems to be working with the client. So wait times have been reduced. I'm still having the same volume, but available more now because I have a schedule that works. I just needed to see how the remote school would affect the hours that I could be available, and I had to be honest with myself when I was actually available. So it's working beautifully, and I'm very happy with that. So I'm getting that mojo back. So yeah, so basically when I schedule you for a reading and I say, hey, I don't have no more availability, it's because I don't have that quiet time. I want to make sure that when we're doing a reading, I have that quiet time because I do back to back readings for hours and hours on end. So I want to make sure that you are getting what you paid for, that I'm giving you and I'm helping you to the best of my abilities. Another essential that I love is this psychic oil that I created. It has eye brights and other essence and things like that. My little secret recipe. I need to make more that I love to anoint myself with when I do readings. Okay, of course, an essential for me would be my internet and my phone because I do phone readings. I do readings live on Skype, so internet's important. It's also important for me to make YouTube videos that promote me and my services, of course. And my timer. So my readings are time sessions. So whenever you guys book a reading, I have the timer set. It will let me know so that I can give you the exact time that you pay for. It helps me to keep on track. It helps the client to know, hey, we're getting ready to finish up the reading. That way they make sure they got the time they pay for. And I also make sure that I'm not going over, and also that I'm not going to be late to my next reading because I do schedule a very short break between readings so that I can cleanse and clear myself. I can, just focus or whatever, because sometimes you'll do a reading and maybe the energy is negative. You can cleanse yourself between the readings and then come back into it. So I do allow a very short break between that, or also because sometimes clients may have tech issues, I allow a certain amount of time, so 10 minutes between each reading. Okay, so when I have to actually go is because I have to actually go because my it's a 10-minute between each reading kind of thing. Okay, so the timer, that's been very important. It's helped me so much. So has my phone. My phone has, it's linked to my website. So when you guys schedule a reading, it goes directly into my phone. I know when your reading starts and ends and all that beautiful stuff, okay? Because I have a app on my website that you can schedule directly with me for readings once you pay for your session. Okay, I also love to use incense sticks as well as resins. So one of my main, okay, is again when I end readings, I like to use sage. So it may be a sage actual smudge stick, resin, or in incense form. Another one that I like to use, but sage I only use when I end the reading. When I'm actually doing readings, so between readings, if I feel like I need to clean up some negative juju, I would light a ruda or rue incense, or frankincense and myrrh. But only this brand is my favorite. So those are my three like main go-tos when it comes to burning incense. Okay, I love stick incense. Okay, I love, you know, like I said, the chakra incense. I also like to burn meditation incense, which I ran out of, so I don't have to show you right now. Another essential that I have, so that'll be number 15. Is my spiritual jewelry. So here I keep like my bracelets. I love wearing evil eye jewelry when I do my readings. Okay, these are stuck together. I don't know why, but they're stuck together. So these are just like you pull them in. My hair tie. Crystal bracelets. So it depends on what I'm intuitively drawn to work with. So these are only used not to go out just when I'm doing readings. Any of these jewelries are used for those purposes. I have a heart chakra. I should have gotten all 7 chakras, but I thought I could come back. I've never seen Spencer have them again. So I was only able to get the heart and the third eye. I have another one, different colors. And my rose quartz earring. My daughter has the matching necklace. I love wearing rose quartz in my ear. Just that unconditional love. Giving messages, but the most love, you know. So if you read with me, you'll see me wearing some type of jewelry most of the time. It could be my clear quartz, labradorite, amethyst, either a rose quartz or labradorite necklace, or sometimes intuitively I wear an azabache. I love wearing my azabache. So I'll have any of those. I have hair on my necklace. So yeah, my hair I shed. I apologize, but yeah, probably showed my hair stuck to the thing. You could tell that I wear them. So my apologies for that if you're squeamish about hair. But didn't know it was tangled into the necklace when I put it in here. Okay, so that's that. And then I like to wear rings. So it's either my labradorite, my rutilated quartz. I have a so I might wear these rings. I like to wear one ring on each hand, or a turquoise ring, amethyst, or moonstone. So those are the spiritual jewelries I like to use. I house my spiritual jewelries on this one and this one. This one my mom gave to me on my first Mother's Day. So it's very special to me. Being that my mom, I'm following in her footsteps. She's following, you know, in my grandma's footsteps and my mom's footsteps, great grandma, all that good stuff, breaking stuff. Let me pause this. I gotta hold on one second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. My clear quartz fell. If you heard a loud bang, it didn't break the crystal or anything, but it did fall. So I love this guy. It's been through some things. It fell. Moving on. I was trying to pull the jewelry back in there because my desk is so full. Okay, so we talked about the spiritual jewelries and things like that. Also, I see a lot of people talking about teas. Now, I do drink teas, but I'm going to be honest. My preparation for readings is mostly coffee. And it's mostly café bustelo con leche, so café con leche. I give this cafe, this coffee as offerings to a lot of my spirits. We Caribbeans love this, okay? The Caribbeans that from the diaspora, we love this. And we give it a lot to our spirits as offerings, okay? So I love my cafe. But it has to be, you know, Spanish coffee. Okay, if I do drink tea, it would be hibiscus, throat tea, or peppermint, okay? Because I do a lot of communication, third eye, all that beautiful stuff, okay? So I'll use teas like that. I used to use loose tea, but herbs have been a little bit different because I've had to pack up a lot of stuff because of the move. I have teas more now that are readily available, the ones that I drink now. Okay, so when I'm not using sage or Palo Santo, I have other herbs that I like to burn before and after readings. That can be rosemary, thyme, or bay laurel. I use a lot of bay laurel in my practice, okay? Rosemary, thyme, and bay laurel are very big in my practice, okay? Another thing that I like to do is use sprays, okay? I like to use sprays. I don't make these things. I buy them. That's how we do. I love my Florida water, so I buy the Landman and Murray Florida water, and I put them in these little bottles. So, and I label them. So this is my Florida water that I use to like spray my reading space. I also use rue cologne, bay rum, okay. Oh, yerba buena. Okay, I use these. I love them. I love the smell of Florida water. Okay, I love it, girl. And I love using it to kind of cleanse my space, okay? Another thing that I like to do, and this is something that I do every other day, especially on Tuesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, okay, is spiritual baths. So what I mean by spiritual baths, I do one that's like almost every day with the Florida water soap, but I also create my own herbal spiritual baths at least once or twice a week, the most 3 times a week, just to stay cleansed, okay? I also not only create spiritual baths, I create spiritual floor washes or spiritual floor sweeps. And I like to have certain protections on my door and my reading space and without my home, because not only do I do professional readings, I am a professional root worker, you know, spellcaster. So I want to make sure that I have great energy when I'm doing workings or any type of spiritual healings or any of my spiritual services that are readily available on shamanic@warriorpriestess.com, my website. I want to make sure that my home is cleansed and my body is cleansed, because my body is the temple that hosts the spirits. So I do all these things. I do weekly rituals to continue to balance my psychic abilities, to cleanse myself. So I do a lot of sandbag work, protection work, and things like that. So I do have a dedicated space that's dedicated to self-healing for myself, or any type of rituals or workings that I need to do for myself or my children. And that is separate from the client altars that I have dedicated for client work. I keep those separate, and things like that. So I do workings on myself on a consistent basis as well, because I feel like if I'm good spiritually, then my clients are good spiritually. Then I can give the best of the best to my clients. So those are my 20 essentials for my tarot practice, my spiritual based business tarot practices, okay? So hopefully this video you enjoyed it. I would love to hear in the comment section, what are your tarot or divination essentials, or things that you love to do, or different tools that you use to get you in that mind space when you're doing readings, whether it's for yourself or others on a professional or for fun or whatever it is, how you do your practice. Please let me know in the comments below, or make a VR to this. Like, I would love to hear your guys' response to this. Okay, much love, much light, much blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to work with me on a one-on-one basis, shamanic@waxpriestess.com, shamanic@waxpriestess.com, and you can book a private reading. I have many different types of readings there, from psychic readings to specialized readings. I'm also doing healings, okay, different types of healings, and I do workings as well. Okay, so, and you can always contact me to the contact form of my website if you have any type of business inquiry, please. Much love, much light, much blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and until the next video, bye.